Hello, fellow book loving friends. Live from your gut, your heart, the sole of your feet, and everything will fall into place. What does that mean? I have no idea. I'm just kidding. Live from your gut. Your gut will tell you right from wrong, help you make choices, decisions. Live from your heart. Your heart will be your guide. It's your inner compass. Live from the sole of your feet. You've got to move your feet to make a difference in your life. Forward, backwards, or sideways, you need to move. Do something different, something new, something exciting. Whatever you do it from the sole of your feet to the tip of your head. Do it with everything you've got. Now, what does that have to do with writing February or Valentine's Day? I'm not sure, but I hope you liked it. My mantra for this month is right from the heart and everything will fall into place. And I wanted to kind of dig deep down into what that meant and have it be our tagline for this month. Now, let me tell you about the book I'm writing, JD and the Broken Promise. Again, this is the rough draft. This is my pretend cover that I made. It's super simple. It's a spin-off series from my book, Haunted by Amethyst, which is out in print right now. It's a spin-off series. JD's a private investigator who's haunted by a ghost she calls the woman because she doesn't know who she is. Orphaned at 8, JD Wolf is adopted by a military family who teaches her honor, discipline, and every four-letter word in the book. Now, in talking about this book, I'm going to use an analogy. And I know you can get into trouble by using an analogy, but anyways, a book is to a writer like a baby is to a mama. It percolates inside you for 9 months or so by the time it's fully polished and ready for the world. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. When you release your book out into the world and you let it go and you're like, oh, you feel kind of sick inside, but you still have pride. You have pride in what it has become. Your heart is connected to it, just like your child. You cheer when they do something amazing, win a prize, or a comment is made of how wonderful they are, and you swell up with pride and share in their excitement and joy. Also, like a child, you feel pain when they scrape their knee, or their heart is broken, or someone pummels them with unkind words. Your books, you feel pain when they sit on a shelf, tossed in the trash, or the reviews just absolutely suck. I'm going to adjust my little camera here. I didn't realize I was on top of my blotter. When JD and the Broken Promise, as some of you know, I have already written JD and the Broken Promise. I wrote it, I sent it to my editor, and it was rejected. And I felt slammed. She loved my first 3 books. This one, she said, didn't work, that I shoved the romance inside of a whodunit. Then the stab to the heart, the writing wasn't there. Oh my God, I was devastated. I took the book apart, separated the love story from the whodunit, and decided to make Home Run the love story. This is on hold right now because I got to do JD first. And I kept JD and the Broken Promise. Make lemonade out of lemons, right? 2 books from 1. You know, that would be an incredible win of such a low moment. I spent over a year relearning my craft at Margie Lawson's Writers Academy. I decided JD needed a stronger, winning beginning, and I started writing the Broken Promise from scratch. Now, a girlfriend of mine is a very successful suspense writer. She's a pantster, which in the writing world means she doesn't really plot. She doesn't actually plot out her books. She starts writing. She has 3 suspects. Well, when she told me about this, she said that she has 3 suspects that she thinks are the killer. Then organically, as she's writing, one of the suspects rise to the top and surprise her as the murderer. And then she goes back and places in the clues. And this has been very successful for her. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a whirl. And I tried to write from the seat of my pants. That worked for about 3 chapters, which you guys read in my newsletters. And then I stalled. I didn't know what to do next. I didn't want to write 30,000, 60,000, God forbid, 90,000 words and be told they didn't work out like last time. Waste another full year. Last fall, I spent a month house sitting and kitty sitting for my daughter while she and her husband were in the field. They're in the Army. And I was supposed to write zillions of words for my new books. Instead, I focused in on my plotting process and came up with a novel roadmap. At the time, I wasn't sure if I was creatively procrastinating by playing with my plotting sheets or if the urge inside of me to fix my plotting sheets was real and true. And I've been working with those sheets within my novel roadmap, quietly and quickly perfecting them as I use them. I'm going to I crowed on some of my sheets for my employee of the month. Now, my goal is to finish plotting JD and the Broken Promise this week. And that's a tough goal. I still have journeys to write, a couple characters to flesh out, and I want to get my newsletter out to you guys. I need to start writing my spill draft, where I don't think I just write, I just spill it all out on the page. Some writers call this their first draft, their quick write draft, their throw up draft, their it draft. That doesn't count as cussing, does it? Whatever you want to call it. 2 days ago, I'm working on JD's father, Milt. He's retired Navy. He's proud. His brother is retired Army. And if you read my book, Haunted by Amethyst, you know they have a good-natured rivalry going on. His supposed greatest disappointment in his life is the fact that his son chose to enlist in the Army over the Navy. Well, I'm working on Mitt and his wound, and it is so bad. It will rock not only JD's world, but his entire family's world. This is his greatest secret. He would do anything to keep it from coming out. And as I'm developing him and I'm writing down internal dialogue between him, JD, and his wife, Grace, visceral feelings he's having. And I write these down on little stickies so that I don't, so I can include them in the book when I spill out the story and I don't forget them. And it hits me. I'm doing it again. I'm putting a love story inside of JD's book. A love story between Grace, right in the middle. And I'm like, oh, why? Why can't I just keep JD and her mission separate from the people around her? I'm like, Dee, you're doing it again. No, I'm not nuts. No, I don't talk to myself all the time in the third person, but I'm like, you're doing it again. Your editor is going to laugh and say, no, wrong, try again. Maybe not in such kind words this time. Why can't I keep JD's mission separate from the people around her? I can't. And we don't live in a vacuum. What happens to our loved ones touches our lives, impacts our lives, messes up our plans for the day. If JD didn't care about her family and only cared about her job, what kind of hero would she be? So I made a decision. I feel like I've made a lot of decisions recently. And my mantra for 2022 is be true to you. And JD must accomplish her mission, solving murders, finding lost kids, protecting the innocent with the added weight of rocks in her rucksack. The rocks are her family. They're precious rocks, greater than gold. They not only weigh her down, but they make her stronger. Without them, she'd have an empty rucksack, an empty heart, and an empty life. I will follow in JD's footsteps, and the mantra be true to you in 2022. I will be true to who I am as a writer. I write stories about the whole hero. The hero's struggles and their loved ones too. The struggles of those they lose and those they save. If you're looking to go on a journey with a girl haunted by a ghost, who wants nothing more than to have a family who loves her, but the price of that is for those who she loves to impact her journey and bring richness to it, then when I finish JD and the Broken Promise, give it a read. You'll find my heart in it. Was my editor wrong? I don't know. I don't really care anymore because in my journey from then to now, I've met new book-loving friends. I've sharpened my pen with my mentor, Margie. I've grown as a writer, discovered my process. I've added those diamonds and diamonds like you guys in my rucksack, and they and you lift me up. Should I have published my original version of JD? Should I now? I've learned not to should on myself. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, thinking about all those wouldas out loud will not only give you a headache, but a heartache. Now, Lucy, Tate, and Milo, they're going to shine in their own book. JD will run her race with her rucksack full of rocks, and I will spill stories out on paper with you, my book-loving friends, by my side. Grab some tea. You might want to use your to-go cup because it's going to be a bumpy ride, but well worth the trip. All right, what else is new in my crazy riding world? Well, you know, it snowed here in Virginia in January. Okay, so it snowed, nothing new, nothing big. But my hubby went to work. He left around 4:30 a.m. We were supposed to get 1 to 3 inches of snow. His office doesn't have any windows, but he happened to look outside around 9 and the snow was coming down, heavier than expected. And he thought, you know, it'd be best to head home, make sure that I was okay. It's an hour drive home. He was stuck on I-95 for 9 hours. And I'm sure you heard about I-95 being shut down in Virginia. It made national news. It was crazy. People in my town had no power for over a week. And some of their stories were very, very heart-wrenching and sad. Along with the number of trees that came down, we have a whole bunch in our yard that came down. And I have pictures of it in the newsletter of the 4 trees that the whole root ball came out of the ground and was upended when they fell. It was amazing. When it warms up, we have some major work to do. Now, I have the same 2 printables in Printable Freebies in my newsletter this month that I did last month, because I know that I wanted to make sure that everyone saw them, and some people have come to my newsletter in late January. First one is a book tracker bookmark, and you can write the books you read on here. If you join us for Spill the Tea, you can please write that book in there, and you can print this front to back. And then I also have where you can print your write your own story life goal building block. I made that a really long name. And I have an example of mine right here. You know, I put Snoopy on mine, but you can paste anything you want onto it. So I wanted you guys to have those things. Now, my employee of the month. I know this is so goofy. My employee of the month. Who rolled up their sleeves, got messy. Sorry, my daughter's trying to call me, and I'll have to call her back later. Who rolled up their sleeves and got messy? This month is kind of weird, kind of unusual. It's my character traits worksheet. Okay, now this is part of my plotting, my novel road book. And in the newsletter, I kind of gave you guys a picture of it. I developed these sheets from different trainings, research, but mostly from reading these 2 books. The Positive Trait Thesaurus. My Vanna skills are kind of sad right there. And the Negative Trait Thesaurus, I think, right there. There we go. By Angela Ackerman and Becca Puglist. Okay. Awesome books. I suggest you get all the thesaurus, the writer's thesauruses written by them. I took what I read and I learned from them and different sources, tweaked it, the information, made them into my own sheets. And I want to share with you what I learned about the woman haunting JD in the book that I'm writing, because these sheets really are great. They talk about what you do is you figure out the achievement and attributes I'm sorry, let me re-say that. You figure out the traits and attributes that a character would have to win the day, and the ones that would hold him back from achieving his goals. And so I'm doing the woman. And not only do you put down the positive and negative traits, you also put down the lies that they tell themselves. And that's where you really get to hear the character in your head. So, for example, this is the woman. And remember, the woman haunts JD. She haunted her mother, her mother before her grandmother. And so she haunts JD. And one of the things is the woman is curious. And the woman tells herself, I'm just curious. My curiosity never puts JD in danger. I'm observant. I watch everyone and everything to keep JD safe. I'm cautious. I keep JD safe and happy by being cautious. She needs me. I'm obsessive. I must bring JD home or she'll never be happy. I'm impulsive. Like sometimes I consider the consequences before I've done something, but mostly not. That one's actually a truth. Stubborn and pushy. I know it's best for JD. Only I know. And then we get down to empathetic. I understand what JD's going through, but it's necessary that she goes through it. Loyal. I'm loyal to JD. I'd never hurt her, but I know it's best for her. Proper. No way. I roll with this new century. I'm JD's BFF forever and ever. Worrywart. You'd worry too if you've lost as many people as I have. Gossip. I'd tell JD everything about everyone if she would just open her mind and listen. Oversensitive. JD can't hurt my feelings. I'm dead. I don't have feelings. Well, that's a huge lie because the woman does have feelings. But I just thought, wow, these sheets, that's why these sheets have become my employee of the month. I just want to read one more. The woman thinks she's being kind to JD. She's a kind person. The woman's saying, I'm a kind person. I'm being kind by breaking up JD's dates because her heart will be broken if I don't. And then jealous. I'm not jealous of JD's mom. She isn't blood. She's temporary. Oh, that's so bad, but so good. So I love the woman. Love the woman. Love the conflict she brings. Let's talk about Spill the Tea. Our next Spill the Tea. There we go. Our next Spill the Tea is April 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern. We are spilling on The Recovery Agent by #1 New York Times bestselling author Janet Evanovich. Now, usually I'd have a book to show you, but my signed copy doesn't come in till the end of March. Janet usually writes with a lot of humor. She's a New York Times has named her the most popular mystery writer alive. Now, how cool is that? Please, I would love to have a title like that. And this is what it says on the back of the book. Lost something? Gabriella Rose knows how to get it back. As a recovery agent, she's hired by individuals and companies seeking lost treasures or stolen heirlooms or missing assets of any kind. Inspired by an old family legend, Gabriella sets off for the jungles of Peru, in pursuit of the Ring of Solomon and the lost treasure of Cortez. But this particular job comes with a huge problem attached to it. Gabriella's ex-husband, Rafir. It's Rafir who has the map that possibly points the way to the treasure, and he's not about to let Gabriella find it without him. Great conflict. One lucky viewer wins a signed copy plus a signed copy of their choice of one of my books. There's 2 ways to watch. You can join the fun live on Dee Armstrong's author on YouTube or Dee Armstrong's Book Loving Friends on Facebook. The links are below. Now, my February new release picks are Better Off Dead. I'm going to go to this side. There, that side works better. Better Off Dead by Lee Child and Andrew Child. Okay. Now, #1 New York Times bestseller. Jack Reacher is back in a brand new page-turning thriller from acclaimed #1 best-selling authors Lee Child and Andrew Child. And this is what it says. Digging graves had not been part of my plans when I woke up that morning. Reacher goes where he wants, when he wants. That morning he was heading west, walking under the merciless desert sun until he comes upon a curious scene. A Jeep has crashed into the only tree for miles around. A woman is slumped over the wheel. Dead? No, nothing is what it seems. So I thought, oh my God, that's so great. I can't wait to read that. Then we have, I gotta scroll down. I also picked Mercy by David Badalchi. and I apologize if I said that wrong. I forgot to look up a YouTube video on how to pronounce it. FBI agent Atlee Pine's harrowing search for her long-lost sister Mercy reaches a boiling point in this breakneck thriller from #1 New York Times bestselling author David Badalci. For her entire life, FBI agent Atlee Pine has been searching for her twin sister, Mercy, who was abducted at the age of 6 and never seen again. Mercy's disappearance left behind a damaged family that later shattered beyond repair when Atlee's parents inexplicably abandoned her. Oh my goodness, that's really sad. So, Atlee Pine will face the greatest dangers yet and may well cost her everything. That sounds great. I actually took a training from him one time, and I very much enjoyed it. All right, now let's scroll down. Are you a book-loving friend? I hope so. Join my Facebook group, a community of people who love books. The link is below. You'll never know what secrets I'll share with my book-loving friends. And then fellow writers. As always, I feel school is never out for the pro. And if you're a writer, an inspiring writer, exercise your pen and learn with me live at a webinar with Margie Lawson called Making Silence Boom, February 17th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Learning to have power between the words. It's 2 hours out of your month that will improve your writing. Sign up early. Now, I have to tell you what happened last month with the webinar. I was waiting for my link to the webinar, and I got my hair done, made sure my backdrop didn't have anything embarrassing or stupid in it, and I'm waiting for the webinar because it's so much fun. And the link doesn't come through, and it gets past 2 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, it started, and I don't have a link. Well, I know that Margie would have sent the link. I know it's not her fault. It's something I did wrong. So I guess when I signed up, it didn't go all the way through, or I did something wrong and I hadn't signed up correctly. So I had to, I still want the information because I wanted to find out what she taught, and everything Margie teaches is worth it. She's one of those people that come along in life that has so much to give that you're really blessed to have met her. And I feel very fortunate to learn from her. And I don't want to miss any opportunity. And so I download it. And now I'm like bummed because half of the fun, part of the fun is being able to talk with Margie. It's learning with the other authors. And then Margie puts us to work during this. You don't have to participate if you don't want to, because there have been times where I was like, oh God, I don't know. And she puts us to work, and she'll ask us questions, and we'll text them in, and then they get read, and that's really cool too. So I was so bummed, but now I'm going to have to learn it on my own, which is still great fun, but not as much fun as learning and chatting with the other writers. But yeah, I messed up. Finally, ring that bell so you don't miss anything. Share, like, tell your friends about me. Yes, me, Dee Armstrong, and my books. If you like romance, ghosts, and mystery, you'll love my books. Let me leave a fingerprint on your heart. Post in our Facebook group, Dee's Book Loving Friends, your thoughts and what books you're enjoying right now. Guys, I need you to help post in my Facebook group because I get my head down into writing. Next thing I know, it's been 2 weeks and I haven't shared anything. But if you guys pop in and put what you're reading, that'll get me in there because I'll get the ding. So I need you to help me to be a better Facebook person. Well, that's it for me, Dee, and my writing world. Thank you for being a book-loving friend. I love sharing with you. Wishing you health, happiness, and happy reading. You'll find me writing on the porch. Hugs. Bye for now.